Konnichiwa. Welcome to Harry's Fragrance Counter. And on this installment, we will be taking a look at Sakura by Christian Dior. Let's get into it. All right, so Sakura by Christian Dior was actually, it's a floral fragrance that was launched for both men and women in 2018 by prominent nose of the Christian Dior house, François Demachy. You might remember that name from last week's episode, Sauvage by the same house, Dior, all right? So the man is a mastermind, a genius when it comes to these sorts of things. So just jumping very quickly right into the profile of this beautifully crafted fragrance. Okay, we got on the top notes, we got green notes, all right, and amorphous green notes, all right. Japanese cherry blossom, a big blast of Japanese cherry blossom at that, unsurprisingly, it's the fragrance's namesake. Rose, jasmine, and Hedione in the middle notes, and forming the base notes are going to be the violet, mimosa, and white musk. And folks, from the moment, all right, the moment your nose hits the first notes of this fragrance, you definitely get blasted with the kind of, it's almost as if you picked a fresh cherry blossom. So you definitely, you know, as the name lets on, it's very cherry blossom, so it's kind of innately fruity floral, because that's literally what cherry blossom is. It's the flower that's bearing the fruit, cherry. But it's like you pick the flower with the stem and the leaf. So you get a kind of like the fresh cut, like a fresh cut cherry blossom stem. So, and you get a little bit of the freshness, that green freshness of the leaf. Which you don't really see a lot with a lot of kind of like the powdery, lighter floral arrangements. You don't see a lot of green freshness, which makes that truly unique. Yeah, just a gorgeous composition, super well blended. Monsieur François Demachy, this is a masterpiece, an instant classic in my book. He really knocks it out of the park with this one. I listed a number of notes, a nice mélange, a nice mix of different florals in there. But truth be told, the main notes that you're gonna really smell with this one are those fresh green notes that I talked about, the cherry blossom, maybe a little bit of the rose, and the white musk, honestly. Because you do get kind of some of that white musky feel to it, which kind of, I like personally, because it keeps, you know, floral from becoming too sweet. And I'm personally not a fan of super sweet fragrances anyways. And I think that's also kind of what makes this one more unisex, so to speak. But yeah, the imagery with this one is just strong. It just paints a very beautiful picture of kind of like a nice spring day. Because cherry blossoms, it kind of makes me think of kind of like an anime character, like an anime schoolgirl, you know, with her hair kind of whipping in the wind, and you have like the cherry blossom petals kind of being, you know, ripped by the wind and falling like snow, like snowflakes from the air. In the spring, it just kind of gives that imagery, that very, you know, the pageantry, the subtle, beautiful, almost tragic pageantry of, you know, the death and life of spring, you know, with the flowers and then falling to the ground and then giving to summer and the eventual death that is to come. It's a nice, very sullen, but beautiful and also kind of celebratory fragrance, I must say. So yeah, this gets a very easy 4.5 out of 5 stars from Harry's Fragrance Counter. So you're definitely gonna wanna be on the lookout for this one. Now, that being said, Sakura, which translates to cherry blossom in Japanese, has a scourge twin that you should know about called Japanese cherry blossom, all right? Dior, Bath and Body Works, okay? This one, on the other hand, is the one that you'll smell a lot more often. I can't tell you the number of people that like to spray this and like to wear this, you know, thinking that they're fancy and oriental in culture because they're wearing something that says Japanese cherry blossom. But truth be told, this is a horrible fragrance. I can't even mince words about it. It's just not a good, well-blended fragrance at all, really. And by that, I mean, it's just, you kind of get, I mean, yeah, you compare this with this, it's kind of, yeah, it smells way, 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 way too sweet. And it doesn't last. And it's almost, I don't even smell cherry blossom. I smell like cherry, and they're trying to, with maybe some powdery white florals thrown in there to make it give that floral component to it. But it's just, it ends up smelling very kind of candy-ish. Yeah, way too sweet. It smells like sugar high. Okay, so yes, no. 4.5 out of 5 stars, 2.5 out of 5 stars. All right, that's the official Harry's Fragrance counter review for this one. All right, yeah. All right, so because I don't want you to just take my word for it, I took to Facebook Fragrance Friends. All right, we're switching up a little bit this episode. Facebook Fragrance Friends is a really cool Facebook page group, lovely people. Pretty much what the page sounds like. It's a group of people who are friendly towards each other while talking about fragrance. Just that simple. Well, a while back, I actually took to Facebook Fragrance Friends, because you won't be surprised to know I'm a member of this group, and asked them I posed a question, what exactly is the difference between Sakura and Japanese cherry blossom? All right. And here's what a couple you just had to say. Portia said, Sakura by Christian Dior is much more subtle and nuanced. It's almost like a L'Occitane that I tried a few years back. For those of you guys who don't know, L'Occitane is, you know, yet another luxury fragrance house. L'Occitane en Provence, you can see those stores at a lot of high-end kind of shopping centers, outlets. That's the word I was thinking of. Outlets is where I normally see them. And yeah, they make a lot of fine fragrances. And so yeah, difference between L'Occitane and Bath and Body Works. And finally, Miss Bethany says, I agree with Portia. Japanese cherry blossom and Sakura are distant cousins. But the Sakura is a 38-year-old executive who's quietly kicking ass while looking fine in a sleek suit. On the other hand, the Japanese cherry blossom is the college gal wearing a crop top and jeans, snapping bubblegum as she jams to her favorite album. I mean, I really could have started and ended the episode with that characterization right there. Executive, college girl in a crop top. I mean, the choice is yours, folks. The choice is yours. Either way, this is a judgment-free zone. Well, folks, as always, domo arigato. Thank you for joining me. Till next time, for your own sake and those all around you, keep on smelling good.